the House of Representatives, go ahead and vote for Jamie. Then we got Phil. Phil and I are both from Rankin County. We're friends. Phil got endorsed by a great conservative publication the other day. You know who I'm talking about? The Clarion Ledger. That great conservative publication that never saw a tax increase they didn't like, that says voter ID is a political stunt and a wedge issue, at least until a federal court says we need it in Mississippi, and says Mike Moore's Partnership for Mississippi is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and gets on the governor and the Republicans in the Senate for fighting it, and then lo and behold, the Supreme Court declares it illegal. My opponent sat on the board of that partnership, even though he's the state auditor. He shouldn't have been there. Is it any wonder the Clarion Ledger likes him? Elected officials either run on their record or they run away from their record. On this partnership issue, I've been asking Phil why he's been on the board. How did he hold them accountable? Did you advise him on spending $20 million a year on things like the Legislative Black Caucus and paid lobbyists? And he hadn't said a word. He's still the state auditor. When's he going to audit them? He claims credit for bringing in $12 million over 10 years of wasted taxpayer money. The partnership alone is $80 to $100 million. It's time something was done. My record, I'm proud of it. If you like tort reform that took us from being a judicial hellhole to the model of the nation according to the Wall Street Journal, you need to vote for me. It's made a difference. Toyota turned us down prior to tort reform, said our legal system was too bad. Now they're in North Mississippi, said they wouldn't have looked at us if we hadn't done it. If you like the Castle Doctrine, vote for me. You're the first line of defense against crime. When somebody's breaking into your home in the middle of the night, you ought to be able to defend yourself any way you want. And the law stand behind you. No longer do you have to run outside and grab them and pull them inside through the middle not to be prosecuted. If you like that, vote for me. I wrote it. And if you like Jessica's law, which protects our most precious resource, our children, vote for me. Everywhere I go, people ask me about illegal immigration. It is the issue most on Mississippians' mind. And the word illegal means something. Now, we don't need to do studies to know there are too many of them here. My opponent did a study. We know there's too many of them here. My personal opinion, those auditors and the people that did that study could have been used to investigate the beef plant. We need to take action. In the Senate, I sponsored the legislation to keep illegal employees from working on state contracts. It failed on a technicality in the House. We're going to bring that back, but we need to do more. They don't just fall from the sky. People get paid to bring them in here. We're going to make human trafficking a felony with a 20-year sentence. Those counterfeit documents, we're going to make that a felony and train our law enforcement on how to spot them and go behind them. And public benefits should be reserved for legal Mississippians. And if somebody gets picked up for DUI or something else and they're illegal, they shouldn't get bail. Why would they show up at court when they're already here illegally? I believe in solutions, not just talking about the problem. I'm a workhorse. I'm not a show horse. Nobody has ever credibly accused me of being a show horse, but I think if you look at my record, I am a workhorse. Governor Barber, he's an issue in this campaign. I like him. I trust him. I agree with his philosophy. I don't care what the Clarion Ledger says. They don't want him to have a wingman. They say he doesn't need a wingman. He does need a wingman, and I've been his wingman for 4 years, and I will continue to be his wingman because he has been good for Mississippi. I'm conservative. If you don't want a conservative as lieutenant governor, don't vote for me. If you do, vote for me. I believe in being straightforward. You may not agree with every position I take, but you will know my position. And incidentally, I believe in saying the same thing here in East Central Mississippi or North Mississippi that I say on the coast. I supported the governor's tourism rebuilding program on the coast because it was the right thing to do and it was a hard vote. And my position, gaming is on the coast and it's on the river. And my position has been consistent. Treat it fairly where it is, but don't let it expand to other jurisdictions. Whether you agree with that or not, you know where I stand. I don't get on talk radio, Christian talk radio, like my opponent and say it's immoral and then go to the coast and say it's a great business. You can't have it both ways. And I'll be accessible. I believe in listening. This race is not about whether I need a job. I got a good job. This race is not about whether I need a thrill. I got all the thrills I needed flying jets. And this race is not about whose turn it is. It's Mississippi's turn. This race on August the 7th is about who has a true conservative vision and just as importantly, who can implement that vision for Mississippi. We don't need somebody who just talks the talk. We need somebody who has a record of walking the walk, and I'm that candidate. When Sharon and I got married, we moved to Minot, North Dakota. I was a fighter pilot up there. It was back during the Cold War. If the Soviet bombers had come, they were coming over the North Pole. So the Air Force had fighter squadrons on alert 24 hours a day. That's why we were there. I'll never forget, we pulled up to the gate. I was 24, she's 22. The sign on the gate said, 40 below keeps the riffraff out. And it is flat as the Mississippi Delta. Just as pretty too in its own way. As flat as the Mississippi Delta, and the old saying was, there's a pretty girl behind every tree. There aren't any trees. We love that life. We love serving in the military. I personally love flying fighter jets. But you know what? We love Mississippi more. That's why we got out, went to law school, and moved to Rankin County, because we wanted to raise our kids with the people who are our people, with our family. Willie Morris from Yazoo City, deceased now, says if you're from Mississippi, there's something deep and dark about this place that lurks within your heart. And I think he's right. And the best thing to do is reach out and grab it and make it better. That's why I've been in the state senate for 10 years. That's why I want to be your lieutenant governor. And I am utterly convinced the way to make Mississippi better is to have a lieutenant governor who knows how to run with the ball in the legislature, a lieutenant governor who's on the same philosophical page with our governor, Haley Barbour, and a lieutenant governor who loves Mississippi. I am conservative. I've been endorsed by the NRA. I've been endorsed by Mississippi Right to Life. I have the highest business rating in the Mississippi legislature given to any legislature. And tomorrow night I'm flying to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania because I'm being named Legislator of the Year by an organization of 2,000 conservative state legislators. I do know how to get